Is today a good day?
Yeah. So this is where I sew now. In the past, I've just sewn at my kitchen table for years and years and years, but we actually have a little bit of space that I can dedicate to it now. I have fabric stored, and then I have cutting mats, and then patterns, and then those are just regular notions, and then bobbins and thread and serger in my sewing machine and projects.
Like, you wear a lot of the clothes that you make.
Yeah, like I make most of my shirts and a lot of my kids' clothes. It's really fun for me to make things that my kids want. I love doing sewing that is useful sewing. Well, so this is an alteration I do a lot for my family. My daughter's got a school spirit shirt, and she didn't like how long it was, so I made it shorter. Hoodies are one of my favorite things to sew for my family because they wear them all the time and they're cozy and comfy. And this is the very first project I made as an adult that started me sewing again. And it's just a simple quilt, but I didn't have a sewing machine at the time. And so I sewed this 100% by hand. A quilt like this, but to piece it by hand is something I would never do anymore. It's about 15 years old, and I've washed it many times, and it's held up. So that is, so that's was my first thing that got me back into sewing. When I was pregnant with my oldest daughter, I decided to make that quilt, and I was like, oh, I kind of like this. And my mother-in-law quilts. My mom sewed Halloween costumes and did all the hand sewing stuff, but my mother-in-law did more quilts and stuff than my mom did. And so she taught me how to quilt, and I was like, okay, I don't have a sewing machine, but I'm going to do this. I can do this. And then when my oldest daughter was about a year old, my husband gave me a sewing machine. I love teaching people how to sew and find joy in sewing, and there's so many different kinds of sewing to do. Like I said, I like to change it up a lot in my own life because I don't enjoy doing the exact same thing. This was a class I did for a sewing class for students.
It's like a hug one.
It is. I teach private lessons, and sometimes I do group lessons, but I do alterations mostly, and then a couple private lessons. Sewing teaches you that perfection is not the point. So we've had projects where we do the whole project and we tweak it, and especially clothes. And there was a project we just had to scrap. There was no saving it. It was just not the right fit for what we were trying to do. And we did have to scrap it, which is not what you want to do, especially as a teacher. You don't want to tell your kid, like, okay, we're just done with this project, let's just begin another project. But I think sometimes that's how life is. Sometimes you try your best to fix something, and you fix it and fix it and fix it, and the best way forward is just to leave it behind and move on. And so I think sewing teaches you a lot that perfection is not key. Like, is the quilt, I can't tell every cross-stitch project I've done, every quilt I've sewn has mistakes in it. And some are more noticeable to other people, some are only noticeable to me. But the point is the quilt warm? Yeah. Is it beautiful? Yes. Is it going to serve your family or whoever you give it to? Yes. And that's the point of it. Perfection isn't the point of the project and of doing the project. And so I think there's a lot of life lessons that come from sewing.